Hey, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a football analogy and the developer sweet spot principle that applies to the Dubai real estate market very, very strongly. With a decade and a half of experience, I've seen this happen again and again and again. I think you want to watch out for this one and then apply this on your own journey. Alright guys, welcome back. If you find this video useful, share it with your friends, family, father, mother, grandfather, children, whoever is looking to learn about the Dubai real estate market and perhaps invest in the market. I've been doing this for a decade and a half, so perhaps some information that I might share with you might be worthy of your consideration. At the end of the day, it is my opinion and I stand to be corrected at any time in the comments section, okay? I'm humble about it. I will take your criticism chin up. Now, if you look at it, you've got to notice something, that there's a lot of developers, we call them builders, developers, people who are doing projects in the Dubai market or in the UAE market, okay? What is the developer sweet spot principle? I'm going to tell you about that. I'm going to tell you about the rising star football player analogy. I'm going to tell you about my book, something I wrote in 2016. And then I'm going to explain to you why the sweet spot / rising star works in your favor, okay? Let's go a little bit back to the basics and explain it in as simple mathematical, graphical terms as possible, okay? Let's say this is the y-axis, okay, so y, and this is the x-axis. On the x-axis, you've got price, you've got 0 here, and on the y-axis, you've got maturity, okay? Maturity, price, okay? Now, if a developer is just starting out, we would place them here, okay? So this is a developer that's just starting out. On the maturity scale, now, don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean they're bad. It just means that they are in the Dubai environment, not super mature. But at the same time, you might also understand that you would be able to buy from them at a very early price, okay? So let's say if the price is represented in this way and maturity is represented in this way. But the risk over here is generally high, okay? As opposed to a developer that's here, that's very mature, but is willing to charge you and is going to charge you a premium price. How do we ascertain that? Look at this. See, high price, high level of maturity, risk comes down, right? Over here is low maturity, but low price as well, right? Because they need to make a sale, they'll give you discounts, they'll give you better payment plan terms, they'll give you etc, etc, etc. That's generally the case. So then you might ask a question, are we just, are you as an investor lost to the cause? Buy something that's low maturity, low price, high risk, or buy something that's mature, premium price? No, you're going to be okay, and I'll explain why. Everybody starts somewhere, right? So here is a premium developer who's been in the market for 30 years. They have delivered 100,000, no, actually I won't say 100,000 because 100,000 is too high, 20,000 plus apartments. Here is a developer that has delivered 0 to 500 apartments, 0 to 500 apartments, okay? But everybody starts somewhere. So there's going to be developers here, 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 here. This represents 2 projects, 5 projects, 5 to 7, 10 to 12, 15 to 20, 20 plus projects. Your sweet spot is somewhere over here. Actually, I wouldn't even count this as a sweet spot. Your sweet spot is right here. This is the sweet spot. Why? They've got enough level of maturity, but their price has not peaked to absolute premium price, okay? They've not peaked to absolute premium price, which gives you that sweet spot. Why? Because as their credibility grows, so will their price in the earlier projects. So the prices will continue to rise. So if you buy in their earlier projects, you're going to benefit from their credibility, and you will easily find tenants and be able to resell. You will be able to resell over here super easily as well. I promised you the rising star football analogy as well. Let's talk a little bit about that, okay? So the rising star football analogy, okay? So maybe we take this over here. So the rising star football analogy, okay? If you want to buy today a fully mature, let's imagine you're a football club, okay? Football club, you know, soccer, some people call it football. Please don't take offense, okay? If you wanted to get the likes of Ronaldo or Messi today, you would be paying $400 million. I think it's a per year or 3 years contract. Very mature, but very pricey, right? They've actually made their bones. They've explained to the world their greatness in terms of football, therefore, etc., right? But they're at the age of 35 plus, right? I think that's the case. If you take an absolute novice at 16 years, now it's going to be not expensive, let's just say it, but there is going to be very high risk of them becoming stars. So while you could do this, most clubs, correct me anybody if I'm wrong, I'm not a football big person, you know, but the sweet spot is between 18 to 22 when they've been to their first club, their second club, and now they're ready to rise and become that super valuable player. I'll give you another example, right? Downtown. If you started investing in pre-2010, when Burj Khalifa was not even built, Burj Khalifa was unveiled on 4th January 2010. If you started investing in 2005, 6, 7, you were paying early on prices. Today, 20 years later, downtown is fully developed. Dubai Mall, one of the premium malls in the region, Burj Khalifa, 2 million people converge here for the fireworks, so on and so forth. So if you're buying today, you're not just paying a super premium, but you're coming into a super mature community and buying from a super mature developer, okay? And I talked about this in 2016. Now, this is not to say that there are no exceptions, okay? So I talked about this in my book, The Intelligent Real Estate Investor, and I said, you see, it just so happens, development, it just so happens, is an easy but not necessarily a simple process that tests the nerves, patience, and all of the kinds of mental and physical strengths of everyone involved. So while we appreciate people coming here and developing their first project, I would suggest that you get into with them in the second, third, and fourth project. Things would not have changed that much, but you might be more comfortable being able to know what they're going to deliver. So the sweet spot is the rising star. Okay, this is the rising star. The rising star has the right kind of brand recognition, and he's got the right kind of placement. A lot of people talk about timing the market. I've just given you a little trick to time the developer's journey and get involved with them at the right pace, the right time, so you can benefit in the right way. Look, there's a link here somewhere below if you'd like to work with us to purchase good properties in the Dubai market or resell properties. Get in touch. Ciao for now.